within a 16th of an inch.
16th of an inch? Think we can live with that.
Is that right?
Well, Callie, here comes the first section of your new countertop. It's made of polyesters and resins. It's a solid surface, and you picked out a nice color.
Thanks. It's got all a nice stone look into it, so I've got lots of color. I've got no lip, which is really good because I'd like to sweep my little water in here without having any problem. And I have two sinks the same size with a smooth edge.
It's really nice.
The way that we made that at the shop was we actually adhered the sink to the bottom of the countertop, took a routered the whole thing out, and actually got that nice smooth edge.
Beautiful.
Now our first piece of countertop is in and it fits perfectly. But because of the size of this kitchen, we actually need two pieces. We're ready for the second piece, and this one has to go in and meet the window. So let's see how this one fits. I'm going to slide it in there. Ooh, that's a nice tight fit. There it goes. Ooh, look at that. Perfect fit. Nice job, guys. The countertop is secured to the cabinet using dabs of silicone. The dabs of silicone allow the countertop and the cabinets to expand and contract separately. Now we just drop the countertop into place. Using hot glue, Brendan is applying temporary blocks on either side of the seam. We're going to attach clamps to those blocks to pull the seam together. Now we clean the two edges with denatured alcohol. Now to glue the two countertop pieces together, we're actually going to use an epoxy. An epoxy is actually a two-part. It gets mixed up in the nozzle of the gun as it comes out.
We got to do this part kind of fast, Tom, because this glue starts to set up in less than 2 minutes.
Now we just drop the countertop in place.
Now we're going to put these pony clamps on and line the seam up.
We're not worried about the excess epoxy oozing out of the joint. We're going to sand it off when it's dry.
In addition to the pony clamps, I like to use this vacuum clamp system. It's faster, it's easier, and it does the same job of drawing the seam together and leveling it out.
Now the vacuum pump pulls the clamps tight to the countertop. Once they're adhered to the countertop, Brendan turns the clamps and it pulls the two pieces together.
All right, it's been about 20 minutes. Let's unhook the clamps and see what we've got. All right, now I'm going to take these temporary blocks off. How we do that? Spray them down with denatured alcohol, and it helps break that seal. And now I'm just going to tap these temporary blocks off, and it should come right off. Now I just use my chisel to remove all the excess hot glue and epoxy. Alright, what I'm going to do with this metal tape is I'm just going to cover up the cabinet underneath the seam so while I'm sanding I don't scuff up the cabinet at all. For the first pass we're going to use a 60 grit sandpaper with the sander on a rotary. Alright, now I'm going to go to 150 grit, and that's going to help bring us closer to our finished product. It's going to get more of the scratches out, make it more uniform and complete. Alright, now for the final pass, I'm going to use a 60 micron sandpaper. It's an ultrafine sandpaper. It's going to be our last job to do before we go on to the wet sanding part. Alright, now for the wet sanding, we're going to use this 12-inch buffer. We're going to use these 3 pads, with the green being the coarsest and gray being the finest. So last pass, this is going to be our gray pad, which is our finest pad. Alright, I'm just going to put some silicone down here, give it a nice seal between the backsplash and the countertop. Also going to use it on the backsplash from here to the wall, along with hot glue. And the hot glue is just going to hold it there basically until that silicone sets up. We're going to use the same material for the backsplash as we did for the countertop. There's going to be 3 pieces in all, 1 for each wall. The seal between the backsplash and the countertop is a lot of water. So you're going to want to seal that with a silicone. I'm going to spray it down with the denatured alcohol. After that, scrape it down with a tile wedge.
Wow, Brandon, looks great. You ready for us now?
Yeah, ready for you.
Now, I noticed you did a little work on the window.
Yeah, the stool still had some laminate on it, and it didn't look good with the rest of it. So I took some of the solid surface material, and I made a cover for it.
Just beautiful. I tell you, it's a work of art. Now, Kelly, the sign of a good countertop job is when you can see the seam. Can you find it?
I know it's over here somewhere, but I cannot find it.
All right. Well, we have to pull this kitchen back together again, and that means put in a faucet. Now, this is your original faucet.
Yes, I've only had this faucet about 5 months.
All right. Need some holes drilled. I think you should drill them, not me.
Sure. All right, thanks.
For a standard kitchen faucet, you need 3 holes to be drilled, and the outer 2 holes need to be on 8-inch centers. If you have a spray hose, you need a 4th hole. But the key is to mount this center hole exactly in the center of the sink so the spout lines up.
What I did for that, Victor, was I put this laser level and square on a jig. This is going to sit perpendicular to the face of the countertop. That way I can slide it along, line it up on the center of the sink, find my center line, mark that out, and then I'll go over 4 inches on either side. 4 more inches over for the sprayer, and we're all set.
Time to drill. I always like to apply a little plumber's putty underneath the base of the faucet, right, so no water can drip down below. Using this hardware set, we're going to fasten the faucet to the sink. Making these connections is really tough. They make a special wrench called a basin wrench, a spring-loaded jaw. You can get up in the tight space and tighten it up. Hey, Tommy, just hold that spray hose thing, would you? Good. We're going to reconnect our hot and cold water supply lines. So just want to put a little bit of pipe dope at the top connection. Now it's time to connect the disposer. Now, this is the part you see from above. This is called the throat. It says splash guard in it. I'm going to apply some pipe right there and push it down to the sink. From the underside, they have a bracket. These screws you can tighten up. But the key is this retaining ring right here. It locks it all into place. Hot's on. Cold is on. All right, let's give it a try, Kelly.